Hi guys, I just wanted to bring you back and then I wanted to show you the actual metal that was put in my foot because I actually got them back. And then I wanted to show you, basically wanted to show that I do have these x-rays, and I wanted to actually read some of them to you, and that way we can clear up some of the confusion. So basically, I was coming down a ladder, and I basically had 3 steps. I thought there was only 2 steps, but I had 3. So I have the actual metal in my bag, and I'll keep referencing to it, and then I'll show you how big the metal is compared to my hand, and I will basically show you how big the metal is compared to my hand because I have little hands, and then I'll start reading the radiology reports, and then I'll actually show you the actual physical pictures that I took as well as what was there. And anesthesiologist, my buddies that were working at Denver Health, thank you so much for helping me with this. I am beyond appreciative and sincerely love you from the bottom of my heart for helping me out with that, because basically between the anesthesiologists that were looking at my radiology reports and the anesthesiologists that were looking at the continuous blocks, that some of them were actually blocking my bladder. So when it says basically I was peeing in my cast, well, yeah, I was peeing in my cast because I had my bladder blocked and not my foot. So this is the metal, and this is basically how big the metal is. So if you look at this in comparison to my hand is only this big. And so with this picture, this is the beginning, you can see that basically throughout this, it's called a bimalar ankle fracture. And this is actually the original one that was taken. And you can see those on, I believe it's on Fight for Mindy, and I think Chris took those. So basically, this is the original from San Antonio University. And this is also the compounded fracture. So you can see with this, and I'm sure that this will get sent to him. So you'll see that basically, yes, I understand that there's a lot of trauma, that there's certain ways that the foot has to get set in order to make sure that it heals properly. But the way that he set my foot and the way that I was treated was beyond negligent. We'll just put it that way. So the radiology reports, there's some of them that actually do say that there's metallic fragments that are left in my leg, and that this is the actual thing that you'll see. There's one picture that you'll see, I believe it's in here, where there's the actual, where it looks like a screw and the plate, and that is actually true. So I'm going to stick this in here just so that you can see for reference what it would look like inside, and then I can show you in reference to what it was on my leg. So basically it was this piece that goes to here, and this piece here was sticking out. So this and this would go inside or do whatever it does, and it would open and close, open and close, open and close every day. And so that big piece that Dr. J was referencing to, he's right. This is too big and too far out because it basically, you can see it right underneath of the skin, and it's not palatable. So basically opening and closing it every day. And then intermittently through the actual cast, if you have metal that's going this way and you move the ankle, basically you have no functionality. So when they say that you have something called full ROM, ROM in the nursing world or in the medical world is called range of motion. Now, in order to have full range of motion, you have to be able to go like this, and like this, and a bunch of other things. So me and my physical therapists, we sit around, and the physical therapist assistants, we laugh at some of this stuff because we're like, really? How can you have full ROM in a cast? Somebody, and it also says that they were doing pulse checks. How can you do a dorsal and a pedal check when there's a cast covering it over? So that's that. This is the metal again. Just want to reference my hand goes from the bottom here, and I have something in the oven, so I'm going to get that really quick. Sorry, guys. So basically, like I said, I'm just fighting for the veterans to get more help and access to care. We need to get basically free medical and dental care, and the reason I keep bringing up medical and dental is there's a guy who I was speaking to, a veteran. Sorry, guys. There was a guy I was talking to that basically, I don't know how to say this the nice way, so I'm just going to say it, and I'm very politically incorrect anyway, so I don't care. Basically, he had like all this nasty, gummy, green gnarliness coming out of his mouth, and it was like, ugh, bleh. I don't do that kind of stuff, but you know who would know? Brooke. Brooke would know. Brooke, she would know. She did this stuff when she was doing tubes and stuff like that. She would know. But basically, he had said that he had been waiting over a year just to see a dentist. And basically, when you're 100% service connected, which, let me explain something. 100% service connected means that what happened in the military, you get compensated for that. So it's not like a Social Security disability or a disability that you would see outside in the civilian world. It's basically stating what happened to us in the military is getting compensated outside of the military. Like I had appendicitis and pancreatitis in Croatia. When I got help finally, Drew Cloud is the nurse who actually helped me, and he's still in my life and a very good friend of mine. He took care of me out in Croatia, and he knows the whole story too. I basically learned Czechoslovakian in 3 days, went to Bedrock. I was in Tuzla West, and Tazar, Hungary, is actually where we were deployed first. So you'll see in one of the pictures that they say that I'm not at. Fernando, me, I think Ed Powers, Isaac Stalzenbach, Pat and Burton, all those people that were in the pictures, those are real people. And somebody asked me earlier today if I was real. Yes, I'm real. This hat is real. This hair is real. I'm very real. No, I don't like to wear makeup all the time because it's cakey and I hate it. I don't even like wearing dresses all the time. So anyways, back to what I was talking about. So when you see squirrels, that's basically it. I go on tangents or bunny trails. So I'm not sure how somebody can help me get off that bunny trail, but if you like pop up something in my face like a squirrel or something, I'll know. So here's the longest screw, by the way. Just wanted to show you. The screw that I had earlier, that was actually the smallest screw. That was the smaller of the larger screws. So let me show you the larger screw now. And let me show you how it was actually placed so that you can see clearly. And in reference, I want to pause for 1 second. In reference to, what was that question earlier? Somebody had asked me why I didn't take more pictures of it opening and closing and why I didn't get out. You're in a military system, and once you're in that system, it's not really easy to get help. And that's why I'm telling you this now. I'm coming out live, and I'm being open and honest, and I really don't have anything to lose because I bought and sold 3 houses before I got here, to get here in Oregon because of all the scandals and stuff like that. I didn't want to leave the way that I left, and I was kind of forced to in a situation that basically will come out at some point when I can speak about it. Right now I can't, so I will when I can. I can talk about certain things. So I'll talk about what I can. And if you have any questions, just let me know. So I just want to show you this picture as well. And so I've got the metal, and I've got this, the longest of the screw. And just so that other guy that was telling me that that wasn't possible, I just want to show you that it is possible. This is my leg. This was my leg right here. There you go. It actually extends out, right? So that's this. Then when I want you to look at very, very, very closely, is the metal missing? And I'm going to show you that the radiology reports basically say metallic fragments missing. And that's because this doctor, Dr. John L. Hinchy, basically got angry. And what I believe basically is that he bolted the screw in. And when you grind a cortical screw, as it says in the procedural in the background for how to actually put these in, when you screw it and you drive it in too far, the metallic shavings fall off the screw. I don't know, can you see? Probably not. Trying to see if there's a better picture. I have a picture of it where it's missing, and you can see it clearer on, oh, there it is. It's like a straw, kind of. Can you guys see it that clear? Probably not. It's probably clear on the actual photo, so I apologize for that. And then here's the other photo that you can see when my foot was basically, there's two others that are switched around. So some of the screws came out basically, and one of the screws, he said, came out and migrated up my leg. Now I have that small screw, and that's this one. I actually have all of the metal because I wanted it. I wanted to make sure I had it, and Dr. Humble was nice enough to give that back to me. So here's more metal as well, but this tiny screw that he was talking about, it's a suck screw. These screws are usually held pretty good. And actually, when I was doing my research on different screws, like cortical screws, hardwood screws, I found out that there's a different type of screw that you're supposed to use in, you know, these surgeries, and that this was too big. There's no possible way that this is supposed to go into my ankle because the way that he put it, basically. And so, and like I said, I'm not here to prove anything. I'm not here to prove if it's right, if it's wrong, if what he did, the surgery, was right or was wrong. I already know it was wrong. I already got justice for that. So it's in writing. And then I got this, basically, he wrote, you know, I'm sorry that you found that my care wasn't good enough. Okay, well, that's blame. And that's kind of like blaming the veteran. So, like I said, our veterans need some serious help. We're looking and asking for your help because we're real people in real situations, and it's the holidays, and everybody's going on about their Christmas. And, you know, I would love to go on with my Christmas and my holiday. I would love to have a happy new year. But my foot has issues, and my spinal cord has issues from CRPS. I want to do some research and find somebody that has, in Oregon, a hyperbaric oxygen therapy chamber. I'm working with somebody that knows something about that in North Carolina, I think. And but I'm just wanting to stay local. I haven't flown since any of this, and driving kind of creates issues sometimes. So after long drives, my spinal cord's a mess. It's not a matter of if I can, it's I'm a wreck afterwards. So I don't want to put my body through all that until I can. My physical therapist, Sean, is a rock star. We do running on a treadmill in the water. So I'm a big jokester, and if you look through the pictures, you'll notice that even in the worst of the times, I'm just trying to laugh. So I basically took one of those urine hats that they gave me to pee in, and the Giants were playing that day, and so I wanted to have fun, and I took the basket, obviously before I peed in it, and put it on my head, and I was like, yeah, this is my pee party hat. Anybody need a pee party hat? So you'll see me smiling throughout the pictures. I'm black and blue on one of them. that my friend took because she was really nervous. And she had told me that if I didn't start taking pictures, nobody was going to believe me anyways, which I was like, yeah, people will believe me. And then I found out, no, they really didn't, because they think you're crazy. When we come out with our stories from the Veterans Affairs Office and the administration, people do think that we're absolutely nuts because they don't understand that our cases are so severe that things are happening that are getting slucked under the rug and basically shoved under so that people don't get in trouble. And so if there's doctors and nurses that think that they can treat veterans or anybody or people that they broke their Hippocratic oath. I took that same oath, and I'm here to protect people, and I'm here to protect the veterans. I'm here to stand up for the veterans, and I'm here to basically speak my voice. I know that there are many people that think that the veterans are, lying or get over it, or, we just need to go away and disappear. There are kids coming home, people. I just want to let you know that moms and dads, let me tell you this. Your son, your daughter, your cousin, if you care about any of them, they're coming home soon. Just want to let you know. Those soldiers that you're talking about, those veterans that you're talking about, leave them alone. Well, let me have a mom or a dad that has their son there that actually cares about them, that wants to do something, because guess what? They're going to come home, they're going to get out of the military, and guess what they're going to be called? A veteran. So if you don't want your family members to get hurt or die, because I'll tell you, there are people dying every single day in our VAs, and they just happen to be missed events or, harsh events. I've had enough. I've had enough lying from the government. I've had enough people telling me that this isn't true. And I just wanted to come out with some of these pictures because I was so tired of people telling me that my story was outrageous and I must have been crazy. You're right. I did go crazy. And do you know why? When you don't have the medications that keep you on a balanced level like I do, I have ADHD. Hence the word squirrel. When my friends talk about when I don't take my afternoon dose, I forget. I'm all over the place. I have ADHD. I tell my friends, please remind me, because if I'm not reminded, I'm like Tigger on crack. It's no good. And I'm all over the place. So I'm already all over the place. I'm working on organization as well. So I just want to let you know that these are real. These are the pictures. This guy did try to help me, by the way. His name is Christopher Larkins. He let me take his picture. He was a nice guy. He was awesome. It's people like this that try to help us that don't get the credit. And he got in trouble for me. Dr. Henchy put a load up his ass. And you know what? I feel bad for him because he was a good guy and he was a good doctor and he tried really hard, and his name is Christopher Larkins. I hope that he tried. At least I thought that he tried. He seemed nice, and then things happen after you get threatened. The staff changed quite quickly. So all I can say now is that I have these reports. I'm covering my name just so that obviously I don't. But in these reports that I've already proved to the judge that basically agreed with me that there's no way that I could have had certain conditions because they don't match up with everything that are in my records. So basically the judge agreed that the VA was full of shit. So as far as their mental evaluation. So here's the medal. That is all in here. And I'm glad that the judge saw through the VA's attempt to make me look cuckoo for crazy puffs, or cuckoo for crazy cocks, or what is that? Cuckoo for crazy puffs? Anyways, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So I do have the records also that somebody had asked what the neck was. That's that bulging. So I had C2, C3, C5, C6. So I'm just saying none of this is going to get fixed unless the veterans come out and unite And so I know that this will get shared later on, and I appreciate all of you watching. And I'm just going to keep saying what I need to say, and hopefully at some point somebody will listen to the veterans actually get help. Because though I can write everything down and I can take pictures and I can do what I'm doing and I can file reports with Congress, which I've already done, my files have been at the highest level that I can ever be at from 1996, to be very, very honest with you. And then I got to pick my base and where I wanted to go from 97, and I wanted to pick Fort Carson. And I made a really big difference in Fort Carson, and that's where I was the happiest, because I was the boss president and medic. So I got to basically represent 5,000 single soldiers and go visit the command sergeant major in Washington, D.C., and really start looking at what barracks got changed. And we finally got phones, and Sprint put access stuff inside the actual phone lines for soldiers to actually be able to call somebody, because we only had payphones at the time. It was 1997. So I'm sure a lot has changed since I was in. This was 95 to 99 that I was in. But everybody keeps asking me where this actually stemmed from. So if I'll take a moment, I'll back up, and I'll start talking about 1996. So Ed Powers, Isaac Stalsenbach, let's see, HHT 26 Cap, you know who you are. There's a couple. Sims, JJ, all of you guys. Fucking rock. I love you guys. Dropping F-bombs, excuse me. But I do. I love these men. All of them. And not in like a, I don't know, like a sexy way. But like, these are my brothers. Like, I would do anything for these men in that way. Like, I consider them my brothers. And I was leading. I was a leader. And that's what I want to continue to do. So thank you for tuning in. And just know that I am a veteran, and I want change, and I want it now. And Donald Trump needs to step up and fulfill his promises. And I'm going to give him a chance. And I wish that anybody that cares about me will give him a chance too, because if Hillary got in, it would have been worse. And the corruption that I had to deal with in 1996, I really don't want to have to deal with that again. And so that was the first big open congressional that I had, and that was about Walter Reed. And somebody else had written a letter in for me. She actually had cancer. She was a E8 or E7. Can't remember, but doesn't matter what her rank was. She had cancer. She was basically, my bed was here, her bed was on the opposite side, and then there was some chick that was having, behind us, that was having basically kidney dialysis, and her kidney was failing, so she was puking and throwing up everywhere, or throwing up and crapping everywhere. So it wasn't good conditions in the first place. And so basically in 96, I had basically a bug, or a virus from probably the Hungarians or whatever cooking our food at the time. So when we go overseas and when we're basically transitioned to somewhere, basically we're upon their mercy. So whatever is out there is out there. And at the time, when we went there, there was a bunch of bomb buildings, and I don't know, it wasn't really that great, you know. People ask me certain stuff, and I think that things have been like movies, like they think that everything's a movie. My life's not, you know, this isn't a movie, this is my life. And when people ask certain questions about why I have what I have or what I did, I'm not putting on a mask here. Like, this is reality for me. And so I have to live with this, and I have to remember that the veterans still need help. And so, like I said, I have the images, I have all of the reports, and I'm just glad that, like I said, we're in the midst of social justice. But I need the veterans to come together. All of the veterans. We cannot separate and just stand alone. We have to all come together at some point. The veterans can't just decide to like leave and not be there. It doesn't work that way. We have to start doing something to make it work. So I don't know if this is still working or not. I hope it's still working. Thank you for tuning in. And like I said, we will, I will disclose more as I go. So thank you guys.